There comes a point in life when you're done being the one who gets overlooked, disrespected, or treated like you don't matter. You're not here to beg for respect. You're here to command it, simply by how you show up. This isn't about ego, it's about self-worth. The way you carry yourself, the energy you project, and the standards you uphold tell the world how to treat you. Do this, and no one will ever dare disrespect you again. When you set unshakable boundaries, you create a powerful filter for your life. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are lines that define how others can engage with you. When you do not set clear boundaries, you silently invite disrespect. People start to test how much they can get away with, how far they can push you, and how little they can offer in return. But when you have firm, non-negotiable limits, you automatically teach people how to treat you. You no longer need to beg, explain, or argue. Your energy does the talking. Setting boundaries is a quiet form of self-respect that doesn't need to be loud to be effective. Boundaries are not just about saying no to others. They are about saying yes to yourself. They reflect what you believe you deserve. When you tell someone, "I don't tolerate this," you're not just setting a rule for them. You're reminding yourself of your worth. People will often test you, especially in the beginning. Some will push your limits to see if you're serious. This is where most people fail. They draw lines, but then step back when challenged. The moment you bend your boundary to avoid discomfort or conflict, you send a message. Your standards are flexible. Once you give people the impression that your boundaries can be moved, they will keep pressing. You must be unshakable. Hold your ground, even if it feels uncomfortable. When you first start setting boundaries, some people will not like it. That's okay. The people who benefited from your lack of boundaries will feel the shift and resist it. You might feel guilty, especially if you're used to being agreeable or pleasing everyone, but understand this. Anyone who truly respects you will respect your boundaries. Anyone who walks away because you finally stood up for yourself is someone you never truly needed. The fear of losing people often keeps us trapped in cycles where we are constantly disrespected. But the truth is, losing people who disrespect your limits is not a loss. It's a cleansing. Boundaries also attract the right people. When you know what you stand for and what you will not tolerate, you naturally attract individuals who understand and appreciate that strength. They know you're not someone to manipulate or play with. You build a reputation as someone who is firm, consistent, and worthy of respect. People may not always like you, but they will respect you, and that is far more valuable. Most importantly, setting unshakable boundaries trains your own mind to respect yourself. Every time you reinforce your limit, you build self-trust. You prove to yourself that you will protect your peace, your time, and your dignity. This inner certainty radiates outward. People can feel when you respect yourself, and they will mirror that energy back to you. Boundaries are not selfish. They are necessary. They protect your growth, your happiness, and your future. When you master this, disrespect has no place in your life. Speaking with calm power is one of the most magnetic and respected ways to communicate. It is not about being the loudest person in the room, nor is it about forcing your opinion on others. True power lies in speaking with steady confidence, without rushing, without raising your voice, and without trying to prove anything. When you speak calmly, people naturally pay attention. because your tone signals control. It tells others that you are not desperate to be heard. You expect to be heard. There is a quiet authority in a calm, firm voice that demands respect without asking for it. When people disrespect you, the common reaction is to get angry, defensive, or loud. But reacting emotionally often gives the other person power over you. They see that they can trigger you, they can control your emotions, and this feeds their behavior. The moment you lose control of your tone, you lose control of the situation. Speaking with calm power does the opposite. It neutralizes the disrespect. When you remain composed, it unsettles those who expect it to provoke you. It shows them that you are not easily shaken, that you are rooted in yourself, and that their words or actions cannot touch your inner peace. Calm power also signals that you value yourself. When you speak slowly, clearly, and with intention, you send the message that your words carry weight. You do not need to rush, over-explain, or apologize for taking up space. You speak as though what you say matters, and people subconsciously mirror that belief. They begin to listen more carefully, not because you forced them to, but because your energy commanded it. People are more likely to respect someone who speaks with patience and clarity, because it shows maturity and self-control. The loud, reactive person may capture attention for a moment, but the calm, steady person earns long-term respect. Training yourself to speak with calm power requires discipline. It means learning to pause before you respond. It means choosing your words carefully, not to please others, but to protect your dignity. It means refusing to match the chaotic energy of someone who is trying to pull you down. It is a practice of emotional control where you separate your feelings from your behavior. Even when you feel frustrated or insulted, you can still choose to speak from a place of grounded strength. This makes you unpredictable in the best way. People don't know how to break you, because you are not easily moved by provocation. Speaking this way also earns you respect in moments of conflict. When others see that you can hold your position without resorting to shouting or insults, they realize that you operate on a higher level. You become someone whose words matter because they are not thrown around recklessly. You speak less, but what you say cuts deeper. Calm power is not about silence. It is about choosing the right words with the right energy. When you master this, people will think twice before disrespecting you, because they know they are dealing with someone who cannot be rattled. Never chasing validation is one of the most powerful positions you can take in life. When you stop needing approval from others, you automatically raise your value in their eyes. People are quick to disrespect those who constantly seek their attention, their praise, or their acceptance. Why? Because the moment you chase someone's validation, you place them above you. You hand them the power to decide your worth. This silent desperation can be felt. People can sense when you are trying too hard to please, trying too hard to be liked, or trying too hard to fit in. That energy repels respect. It tells people that you are not enough on your own and that their opinion is more important than your truth. When you truly understand your own worth, you no longer run after compliments, recognition, or approval. You begin to detach from the need to be understood or accepted by everyone. This detachment is where real power begins. You no longer mold yourself to fit someone else's preferences. You no longer adjust your behavior just to keep people happy. You start to move in a way that is honest to who you are, regardless of who is watching. This silent confidence is magnetic. People respect those who do not seek their validation because it shows self-sufficiency. It shows that your value is self-created, not borrowed from the opinions of others. Chasing validation often leads to a cycle of disrespect because it makes you easy to manipulate. When someone knows you are desperate for their approval, they can control you. They can offer you bits of praise to keep you chasing, or they can withdraw it to make you feel small. You become emotionally tied to their reactions, and they use that to their advantage. But when you are indifferent to whether someone approves of you or not, you become unshakable. Their praise does not inflate you, and their criticism does not destroy you. You remain steady, untouched by their shifting opinions. Validation is addictive because it feels good in the moment, but it leaves you weak in the long run. You become dependent on something outside yourself to feel worthy. Breaking this habit requires you to find validation within. It means learning to trust your own decisions, to be proud of your own growth, even when no one claps for you. It means being at peace with being misunderstood. Not everyone will like you. Not everyone will agree with you. And that's perfectly fine. What matters is that you respect yourself. When you stop chasing validation, something beautiful happens. You begin to attract people who genuinely respect you. Not because you begged for it, but because you commanded it by the way you live. You become the kind of person who is admired quietly, not because you sought attention, but because you didn't need it. People will notice that you are comfortable in your own skin, and that is one of the most attractive and respectable qualities a person can have. Mastering non-reactive energy is one of the greatest shields you can build against disrespect. Most people expect you to react. They expect you to get angry, to raise your voice, to defend yourself, or to explain yourself. They thrive on your emotional reactions because your reaction gives them power over you. The moment you show that they can control your emotions, they know they can control you. But when you choose not to react, when you choose silence, composure, and calm observation, you remove their control entirely. You show them that their words and actions do not disturb your peace. You become untouchable. Non-reactive energy is not about ignoring everything. It is about becoming selective with what deserves your energy. Not every insult needs a response. Not every challenge needs to be met with aggression. Sometimes silence speaks louder than 1,000 words. When someone disrespects you and you remain calm, unbothered, and poised, you send a clear message. I am not available for this low energy. I am not going to lower myself to match your chaos. This unsettles people. They are used to others jumping to defend, to prove, to explain. But when you do none of that, you stand out. You hold power simply by not giving them what they want. Being non-reactive doesn't mean you allow disrespect to continue. It means you choose your response carefully. Sometimes the strongest move is to walk away. Sometimes it's to look them in the eye without saying a word. Sometimes it's to continue as if their opinion holds no weight in your world. You decide. You are in control. Emotional control is rare, and because it is rare, it is respected. People will test you just to see if they can break that control. They will say things just to provoke a reaction. The moment you stay steady, they realize you are not like everyone else. They cannot disturb you because you are not living for their approval or their acceptance. Non-reactive energy also protects your peace. When you react to every disrespectful comment, you exhaust yourself. You give away pieces of your power to people who don't deserve it. Over time, you start to feel emotionally drained, always on edge, always ready to fight back. But when you master the art of detachment, you learn that not everything is worthy of your attention. You don't need to win every argument. You don't need to correct every lie. You don't need to fix how others see you. What matters is how you see yourself. People respect those who are not easily moved. They may not admit it out loud, but they recognize the strength in someone who cannot be provoked. You become unpredictable because they don't know how to get under your skin. And that unpredictability gives you power. They realize they cannot control you, they cannot shake you, and they cannot use your emotions against you. When you master non-reactive energy, you protect your mind, your heart, and your life from those who only want to disturb your peace. Walking away with confidence is one of the boldest and most commanding acts of self-respect you can demonstrate. Most people stay in situations, relationships, or environments far longer than they should, not because they are happy or fulfilled, but because they are afraid of being alone, afraid of what others will say, afraid of losing something that they think they need. But the truth is, when you stay where you are disrespected, you teach others that you will tolerate it. The moment you show that you are willing to walk away calmly, without begging or explanation, you flip the power dynamic entirely. You prove that your peace is not up for negotiation. Confidence in walking away does not mean you are cold or arrogant. It means you know your worth. You understand that if someone cannot treat you with the basic level of respect and decency, they do not deserve access to you. You are not afraid of losing people who cannot honor your value. You don't need to slam doors or create drama. Just your absence is enough. That silence, that lack of reaction, that calm departure, it leaves a powerful impression, because most people expect you to stay. They expect you to fight for a place in their lives. But when you don't, when you simply remove yourself, you force them to confront the emptiness left behind. This principle applies to more than just personal relationships. It applies to your job, your friendships, your family, your social circles, anywhere you are being drained, disrespected, or devalued. Too many people stay out of habit or fear, not realizing that staying is a message. It tells people you will accept whatever they give, no matter how little. But when you walk away, you stop settling. You make space for better. You declare through your actions that you are not here to convince anyone of your worth. You're here to be respected, or you leave. Walking away is powerful because it's a choice rooted in strength, not weakness. It's easy to stay where you're comfortable. It's harder to leave when something familiar no longer serves you. But strength lies in choosing your peace over pressure, your dignity over attachment. And once you make that choice, people notice. They may not admit it out loud, but they will feel it. They will see that you are not someone who tolerates disrespect. They will be forced to reflect on how they treated you. And whether they return or not is irrelevant. The point is that you stood your ground. When you carry this mindset, people treat you differently. They know that one wrong move and you won't argue. You'll exit. That presence commands respect without threats. It creates a boundary without a word. You don't need to raise your voice. Your calm decision to leave speaks louder than anything you could say. It tells the world, I know who I am, and I don't stay where I'm not valued. That is the energy that ensures no one disrespect. Respecting yourself ruthlessly is the foundation of how others will treat you. The way you see yourself silently teaches people what is acceptable and what is not. When you truly respect yourself, you no longer wait for the world to give you permission to feel worthy. You no longer beg for kindness, attention, or love because you already provide those things to yourself. Self-respect is not something you perform, it's something you embody. It's in the way you talk to yourself, the way you care for yourself, and the way you refuse to settle for less than you deserve. When you operate from this deep self-respect, you naturally attract people who mirror that respect back to you. Most people think self-respect is just about setting rules for others, but it starts with the rules you set for yourself. It's in the habits you build, the boundaries you keep, and the choices you make when no one is watching. Do you keep your promises to yourself? Do you show up for yourself even when it's hard? Do you speak to yourself with patience and kindness, or do you constantly tear yourself down? The way you treat yourself in private is the signal you send out into the world. If you neglect yourself, if you speak poorly of yourself, if you tolerate disrespect from your own mind, the world will follow your lead. Respecting yourself ruthlessly also means knowing when to say no. It means not allowing people, situations, or environments to drag you down to a level that doesn't match your standards. It means walking away from fake friendships, from jobs that drain you, from conversations that belittle you. You stop negotiating with people who make you feel small. You stop arguing for your worth. You simply choose not to participate. And that choice is powerful. It sends a loud message without ever having to raise your voice. Self-respect shows up in your posture, in your energy, in the way you move through life. People can feel when you value yourself. It's in the way you hold your head high, the way you speak with certainty, and the way you enforce your boundaries without apology. You no longer chase people. You no longer try to prove yourself. You no longer allow fear to make decisions for you. You carry yourself like someone who is already enough, because you know you are. And when people see that, they either rise to meet you at that level or they fall away. This kind of ruthless self-respect is not about being hard or cold. It's about being firm in your standards while still being kind to your heart. It's about knowing you deserve peace, love, and dignity, and refusing to accept anything that threatens those things. It's about being fiercely loyal to yourself, no matter who comes or goes. When you hold yourself in this way, people quickly understand that disrespect is simply not an option. They either treat you with the respect you have for yourself, or they are removed from your life without hesitation. When you live with unwavering self-respect, everything changes. You no longer tolerate disrespect because you've raised your standards, internally and externally. You've built invisible walls made of calm power, self-worth, and silent strength. You no longer seek approval, react to provocation, or stay where you're not valued. You've learned that your presence is a privilege, not something to be taken for granted. These people can feel this shift, and it commands a new level of respect without a single word. The truth is, when you respect yourself deeply, consistently, and unapologetically, others have no choice but to do the same. And those who don't, they won't last long in your world. That is how you make sure no one disrespects you ever again.